Hi, it's Des here. I'm in Denver in Colorado. I'm at Commvault GO 2019. I have the privilege of being joined on camera by Miranda Foster, who's the Vice President of Worldwide Communications at Commvault. Miranda, thanks so much for making time to catch up with me.
Thanks for having me, Des.
Well, firstly, congratulations on an amazing event. I'm having a great time. Thanks for having me here. There's just an amazing vibe on the floor, and I love the break between sort of the day zero, the training and the certification and the networking opportunity, versus the day one and day two of the live event on the floor here as we're seeing around us and hearing us. I'm sure you're getting plenty of positive feedback from everyone here as well.
We are. One of the things that we really love about Commvault GO, and we hear from press and analysts and a lot of folks who attend a lot of different industry events, is that Commvault GO really offers a level of intimacy.
Right.
You know, we like to give folks access to our executives, walking up and down the hall. There's a variety of different ways that they can consume content, whether it's from the keynote sessions or the breakout sessions or the more intimate mini theaters. We have the Meet the Expert sessions, which are largely popular with our customers. So we bring out a bunch of whiteboards. We fly in dozens of our developers to really just get into the weeds with the customers who just have technical questions. So there's a lot of different things that customers and partners and influencers can enjoy here, and the feedback reflects that.
Indeed, in fact, I deliberately didn't interrupt him because he had a look on his face of going somewhere, but literally walked past Sanjay earlier today and thought, he's just wandering around the event on his own without sort of an entourage, and I think that's the intimate, close, sort of warm feeling that the event carries through. Now, I'd like to have a chat about the whole Gartner and Forester Rankings thing. I mean, firstly, congratulations.
Thank you.
To get them both is insane. Saw them on the main stage yesterday in the opening keynote with Sanjay and just thought, this is ridiculous. Maybe just, let's cover Forrester first, and then we'll get on to Gartner. Give us some insight into kind of what Forrester actually means. So what does the ranking actually mean? What are they ranking against? And what does it take to get prepared to get to that point such that they do actually then end up including you in those rankings?
Gosh, I could go on for days with that question. But yes, so the Forrester Wave is for data resiliency, which really encompasses protection of data, the security of data, resiliency of data across enterprise organizations. They take a look at, obviously there's inclusion criteria, a certain amount of customers, certain amount of revenue, all of those kinds of things, and you have to prove that you can meet that criteria. But it really takes a look at the vendors in the space, and those vendors include upstarts, so some of the newer point solution type vendors, as well as the larger legacy vendors, and then folks like Commvault who sort of sit in the middle, and it's a lot of work, and it doesn't happen overnight, and it's not like we fill out a form and it just magically appears. We're constantly working with these influencers, bringing them into our business. I mean, Naveen is somebody that we trust as a consultant, as somebody who's advising us on directionally where we should go in the market. Does the technology fit the need for the customer? Is there a need for the technology? Is the marketing message correct? What kind of calls and questions he's getting from customers, and how we need to solve their hard problems. So it really is a year-round effort that crosses everyone from our development organization, our product management, marketing, sales, how we execute. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, and we're very, very proud and humbled to be positioned highest and farthest. And we also think, it's validation that Commvault is in a really sweet spot in the market, and while the competitors try to sling FUD at us, I think the Forrester ranking, when combined with the Gartner ranking, is really good validation that, hey, guys, Commvault's here, and we're ready to play.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations again. Now, Gartner is a slightly different beast. As you said, things like Forrester, for example, it's got to permeate every part of the organization at every layer. Give us a similar view of Gartner, and then maybe, I'm really interested in sort of looking at where Gartner's data takes you, because I think a lot of people look at that from a buying point of view more than ever. I mean, Forrester obviously is a valuable report, but Gartner has a sort of a broader reach. Give us a bit of a view of what Gartner provides as far as the report and the insights, and again, what it took to get to that point.
Yeah, Des, they're not dissimilar in the methodology in which we use to submit how we get positioned. Where I think Gartner is really just critical to our business is, well, first of all, they're evaluating data center backup and recovery solutions. So it's a little bit of a different space, but very similar space, very similar players on both of the inclusion criteria. But where Gartner really becomes valuable is they're talking, and I think it's like 500-600 customers a quarter where they're talking to end users who are actively just asking questions about their purchasing decisions, right? They know they have a short list, or they're looking for a short list, and they're looking for Gartner's expertise and their insights to is this the right short list? These are my requirements for my data center capabilities.
Yeah.
Like who's the best vendor? And Gartner really has the insight and finger on the pulse of the customer to be able to make those recommendations or to help customers shape their selection criteria. And so that's what it's really important for us to use Gartner as a tool to enable our sales folks to go out there and say, listen, these are the folks who have the feet on the street, the finger on the pulse of the customer, and they have selected us highest and furthest in terms of ability to execute and completeness of vision.
Right. Now there's an interesting line that Sanjay has used a number of times, but certainly it was a punctuation point for me in many ways in the keynote yesterday, and we've seen it today as well, and that is that this whole thing of the new Commvault, right?
Yeah.
Maybe just give us a little insight into kind of what that means from within Commvault. I mean, there's a number of ways to interpret that, but from your point of view inside Commvault, what specifically does the new Commvault actually mean?
Well, first of all, Des, I'll tell you, it's been a wild and fun ride. I mean, Sanjay's been with us just since February of 2019, and we have done a lot. We've been making moves, big moves, from the acquisition of Hedvig that you saw in September to Monday's announcement of Metallic, our software as a service portfolio. We are really innovating outside in and inside out, which is what you heard from Sanjay on the main stage. And I think that the new Commvault is a reflection of not just new leadership, but a new culture, a new mentality, a maniacal emphasis on innovation.
Yeah.
And it's built on the foundation of 20 years of Commvault's innovation and technology and the credibility that we have in the market, with just a new veneer, a new excitement. There's new leadership being injected. The culture is changing a little bit, and that I think you just see here at Commvault GO, the enthusiasm from our customers and our partners. I'll point to an article that my good friend Christoph Bertrand at ESG wrote, and he said, he wrote in a blog yesterday, Commvault is not changing, it's already changed. So Des, I think it's not just, I know, it's great, isn't it?
I need that on a t-shirt.
We need it on a t-shirt, we need it on our homepage. So, but I think it's more, it's not just us saying it, I think people are really recognizing that this is a different company, it's a different Commvault GO even, than last year, and we believe that's enormously positive for us.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt of that. And I think there's a couple of things. I mean, it's a natural evolution in one way, but it's also like a timely reinvention. I think organizations over time get to the point where they really, if they can, should go through a reinvention. And given the dramatic shift in the speed, pace, variety, the complexity of what we're doing with data, what we're doing with cloud platforms, multi-clouds, private, public, hybrid, the ways that things are being deployed now, code's being refactored and containerized, it's being run under the likes of Kubernetes. You've been through that yourselves internally, you've gone through that reinvention, you now have customers who are going through it and you're ready and waiting for them. I think that is the one line that should literally go on a t-shirt because it encapsulates all of that reinvention, and obviously now Forrester and Gartner have recognized that. When you're talking to people on the floor today, what are their reactions to what they saw on the stage yesterday with regard to the Forrester and Gartner reports? Does it match their expectation, I imagine, or were there surprises? What was the general sense on the floor from feedback?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. First of all, my good friend and colleague Dave Bartoletti did an excellent job outlining for customers those 5 things that you just described around DevOps and multi-cloud and cloud native and Kubernetes and all of that. So thanks to Dave for really helping simplify where the next world order is going and helping customers understand where the landmines are. So that we had enormous positive reaction to that. The unfortunate reality is that I think our customers have almost come to expect Commvault to be positioned as a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. I mean, we've been there for 8 years, which is an incredible feat, again, that we're humbled by, we're proud of, we don't take it lightly. But I think it's validation for the customers and also for prospects, going back to the buying criteria. But for customers, it's like, yes, I've selected Commvault, I've been on my journey with Commvault for however long, and I made the right choice.
Oh, absolutely, and I think, as you said before, like with your 2 decades of pedigree behind you, of sort of going from what might have been originally, talking to Al Bunty yesterday, a company focused on R&D and providing support and services in that data protection and backup space, to what you are now, which is, a completely different company in many ways than that you're addressing today's challenges, but the foundation, the platform that you have there is still there. In many ways, when I look at the Hedvig acquisition and then the internal startup, as it were, inside an existing organization with Metallic, you're now just building out that extra layer in the stack. That now you've got the SaaS offering, you've got the broad offering that at scale and complexity that Hedvig offers, but you've also got that existing platform that's been there for 2 decades.
Yeah.
And I think now the market's recognizing it. And in many ways I see Commvault, like many organizations, challenged that you aren't able to be in a reactive position. You've got to be ahead of the curves, you've got to be ahead of the wave, so you've got to be ready and willing and able to provide that service when the market wants it, not after they want it. So I think there's a big challenge there that, again, Forrester and Gartner have recognized. You've obviously done a lot of hard work on it.
Yeah.
Going from here,
Sanjay calls that, by the way, choice. Being able to offer our customers choice and flexibility in how they want to consume, whether it's with SaaS or on-premise or in the cloud or whatever it is. It's really about choice. And I think what the acquisition and Metallic do for us is broaden our portfolio so we can offer our customers even more value. And one of the things we talk about, and Gartner has said this in their reports before, is that Commvault is sort of future-proof, right? We can help you solve for today, but we're also one step ahead.
I like that.
In identifying and solving for customer challenges tomorrow. And what you implement today with Commvault will still be relevant, will still be able to be built on when the next set of hard problems come along.
I love it. Well, the show has a hashtag, hash more than ready, and I think that encapsulates the entire story in one phrase, which is brilliant. Last quick question, for viewers who have tuned in and have gotten these great insights, where can they easily go and get a copy of the Forrester and Gartner data for their own internal teams from the boardroom down to now consider the data they've got there and I guess action on it inside their organizations?
I'm glad you asked. The Gartner report is on Commvault.com. It's on the home page. It's the first thing that you see when you go to Commvault.com. The Forrester report is just one layer down, so they're both on our home page.
Fantastic.
There's also an IT leaders page, IT leaders at Commvault.com, where they can find more about the Gartner report.
It's like a whole separate portal.
Download it. There is a form fill out, so bear with us, but really, if you don't have access to Gartner or Forrester, encourage everybody to go download the report, read it, learn it, share it, because they are valuable tools for customers when they're making buying decisions, and not just customers, but also people who are monitoring and tracking the industry. You know, these are two really great perspectives from people who are talking to customers, talking to partners, and their job is really to follow this market, and they've analyzed the heck out of it, so you should really go and consume those reports. Indeed.
Well, just as a proof of the pudding, I did it last night. It took me less than 30 seconds to do each. So if you're a decision,
well done.
Indeed, tick. So if you're a decision maker and you haven't got 30 seconds, then you're probably in the wrong job. So definitely download it. Well, Miranda, it's been fantastic to see you. Thanks for catching up. Thank you so much for your time to talk about what Forrester and Gartner have been doing with you and what they reported. And I have every confidence that the market's going to download it, read it, and then be reaching out to Commvault and Commvault partners to see how they can now put that into practice in their decision and buying processes and so forth. And look forward to the future where it takes us.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much.